Good morning, this is Kris Shoemaker, also known as Yehudah ben Shomeyr, and you're listening to Coffee with Kris, the time of the day where we share a cup of coffee and share a bit of the Word of God. Thank you so much for joining me on this Sunday morning for a hot cup of coffee and a hot cup of the Word of God. This is a new week, therefore it's a new Torah portion. It's Vayichi, which means he lived, and is taken from Genesis chapter 47, verse 28, all the way to chapter 50, verse 26. So today's Sidra is Genesis 47, 28 through 48, 9. But I just want to check out verse 5 of verse 48. So this is Jacob, and he's about to die. He's going to give a blessing to his sons, and now he's addressing Joseph's sons, who are half Egyptian, and all they know of the Hebraic ways is what they know from their father Joseph. So they're like living in two worlds, Ephraim and Manasseh. So this is what Jacob says in verse 5 of chapter 48. Now your two sons, who were born to you in the land of Egypt before I came to you in Egypt, are mine. So here Jacob / Israel is adopting officially Ephraim and Manasseh and making legally and officially his children, his descendants, so that whoever comes from Ephraim and Manasseh, they won't be considered half-breeds. They won't be considered part Egyptian. They will be full-fledged Israelites. Now your two sons, who were born to you in the land of Egypt before I came to you in Egypt, are mine. Ephraim and Manasseh will be as much mine as Reuben, which is his firstborn, and Shimon, which is his secondborn. So I think this is a principle that we need to carry out into our secular lives, if you will, as well as our religious lives, because we learn from Judaism that when somebody converts to Judaism, in other words, somebody who's not born a Jew, somebody who is not of Hebraic stock whatsoever, but they feel compelled to follow the God of Israel in the way that Jewish people do, they convert to Judaism. And when they do, their last name becomes Ben Avraham. So they get a Hebrew name. For instance, my Hebrew name is Judah. So let's just say Judah ben Avraham. Judah, son of Abraham. So you claim Abraham as your father, and of course Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? So in Jewish tradition, it is kind of like a sin, or it's at the very least very, very rude to refer to a convert as a convert, to refer to them as a former Gentile. You've got to consider them as if they were a native-born Jew, a native-born Israelite. It's as if their Gentile past no longer exists. They are considered full-fledged Jews, full-fledged Hebrews. And we see this also in Christendom. When, like in foreign countries, like in India or parts of Africa, and those people come to know the Lord, they usually adopt upon themselves a Christian name that they are called by in their religious community. And so that's kind of a similar thing to Judaism. So we know that sometimes we're closer to our family and Messiah than we are to our own biological flesh and blood kin. And this is very important that when we bring people into our life, and especially if they're brothers and sisters in the Lord, that we make them a part of our family. We don't consider them half-breeds. We don't consider them acquaintances. We don't consider them friends. We don't consider them, I'll do this for them, but not that. They become brothers and sisters in Messiah. They become full-fledged family members that we would do anything for, just as if we would do for our own brother and sister, aunts and uncles, cousins, father, mothers, grandparents. We would do for them as well, because they are now our family. Just as Jacob said, you know what? Ephraim and Manasseh are mine. They're not going to be remembered as being half-breeds or half-Egyptians, or nobody's going to remember them regarding their questionable pagan past. They are going to be full-fledged Israelites. And we even see this happen in the lineage of Messiah Yeshua, where Ruth, a Moabitess, is in the lineage of Messiah Yeshua. That is his great-great-great-grandmother. Not only, so we have several quote-unquote Gentile women that are in the lineage of Messiah. They converted, they become considered full-fledged member of the Hebrew, of the Jewish people. And so that's how we win people over, is when we treat them like family, when we treat them as somebody dear to us. And so we need to build up a family of sorts around us, the family of God. I like that old hymn, I'm so glad that I'm a part of the family of God. joint heirs with Jesus, washed in his blood, and another part of the verse says, you will notice we say brother and sister around here, and that's the way I grew up. Everybody in my church, we called brother so-and-so or sister so-and-so. And so I think this is an important principle that we need to carry into our lives, whether our, secular lives and or religious communal lives, where we need to bring people into our family and treat them like family and not treat them as strangers or outsiders or somebody to be shunned. Because we need that. We need that support base in our lives. Guys, thanks so much for listening. Go out there and have a great day. Shalom and God bless.